They're questions being asked by gun control proponents. Mainly, why does anyone need more than a 10-round magazine? And isn't it worth limiting law-abiding citizens to 10 rounds if we can save just one life? Let's look at these questions. First, I would like to point out that the argument, if we could save just one life, is not a reasonable standard, nor has it been the precedent in this or any other country. After all, we've sent thousands of young men to die to secure these rights. Does it make sense to throw them away if we could save just one life? Secondly, by that standard, we can't have any of the many things that cause death, such as kitchen knives, automobiles, swimming pools. The list goes on and on. It is simply not a reasonable standard. But for the sake of argument, let's ask the question, could we save even one life? This is a single-shot youth rifle. It holds only one round. In addition to having to be reloaded, it must be cocked for every shot. This is amongst the slowest type of modern firearm to operate. What you're watching is 10 rounds being fired in under 50 seconds from this very slow rifle. That's 5 seconds per round, a half-second faster than the fire rate of the tragedy in Newtown, a fire rate accomplished easily with minimal training with any modern firearm. I'm not implying that this type of firearm would be effective in a mass shooting. I'm only pointing out that the rates of fire in most of these events is not that high, and could easily be accomplished without the use of a semi-automatic rifle. Keep in mind that these mass shootings occur almost exclusively in gun-free zones, where the killer can operate completely unopposed, often for 10 minutes or more. Also, shootings like the tragedies in Colorado and Connecticut end when the shooter decides he's done, and not before. A complete novice can change a magazine in 6 or 7 seconds, and with very little practice, that can be reduced to 2 or less.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, good job, Braden. When's the first time you ever did that?
Today, actually.
Okay, thank you.
So can we reasonably believe that limiting magazines to 10 rounds would save even one life? That the extra few seconds it takes to change a magazine 10 or 11 times instead of 3 or 4 would make a difference? Considering that these killings stop when the killer's ready and not before, and considering the timeline of these events, clearly we cannot. So we've established that the argument, if it could save just one life, is not a reasonable standard. And we've also established that limiting magazine capacity to 10 rounds is not likely to save a single life. But why does anyone need more than 10 rounds? The answer to that question is anyone that's getting shot at. Exchanging gunfire is not something that mass murderers face when operating in a gun-free zone, but it is a possibility in self-defense. NYPD and FBI studies have found that the average ratio of shots fired by police to hits is about 2 to 1. About 1/3 of shots find their target. This means more than 10 rounds may be necessary if we have a motivated, fast-moving attacker or multiple attackers. This is why most handguns come standard from the factory with between a 13 and 17 round capacity, and why most police forces choose handguns with 15 to 17 round capacity. Keep in mind that civilians, albeit less often, face the same threat as the police. While the 2 or 3 seconds it takes to change a magazine is nothing more than an inconvenience to the murderer operating in a gun-free zone, that same 2 or 3 seconds could prove fatal to anyone exchanging gunfire with an attacker. The proposed magazine limits do nothing to mitigate crime, nor can they be reasonably expected to save even one life. They could, however, lessen the chance of survival of a law-abiding citizen defending themselves or others.